Alright, so back out here, Kinetic Carl in the Kinetic Lab, working on the 1966 Barracuda. It's a 273 V8 with the, it's got the short manifold on it because the kind of car they put this engine in from the beginning was originally designed to fit a six-cylinder, a slant six, and the manufacturer managed to squeeze a small block 8 in there, and so it's a push rod engine, mechanical. Looks like we gotta probably go through and do some valve adjustments. That one, yeah, she's a little loose. Yeah, just the one. Probably, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong. Looks good. Just needs adjusting it. Anyhow, gonna clean these surfaces here and here for the manifold, and then gonna clean around where the chain cover goes on, timing chain cover, and then maybe I'll roll it over and do the oil pan seal area as well, get that all clean, so the engine will just be ready to start throwing parts on. And I've got over here, I've got a whole stack of parts, brand new, to go on this, and of course back there we've got the rest of the Barracuda. One of the things will be while the Barracuda engine is out, I've got a complete replacement kit for all the, basically the front end, all the small plastics and rubber and minor steering linkage pieces, not big huge bars, but the smaller bits. I forgot what all the titles of all those different parts are, but anyhow, they got a big box full of that brand new stuff in there. Some torsion bars, some sway prevention, for race, their race quality. All that replacement stuff that's going in is both Delrin and nylon and polyurethane and all kinds of other, and of course the steel parts are forged and all that. So yeah, so let's move this thing along. I got some gaskets here stuck on. They're just gonna, well, they've already canceled the Kinetic Sculpture race for next year, so the Hoosier Daddy is probably gonna remain on blocks for a while. There's nothing wrong with her. She just have the wheels off to save a little room in the shop. If you're not familiar with the Hoosier Daddy, her wheels are 31 inches tall when aired up, and about 22 inches wide at their widest point. Where they contact the pavement's 18 inches, but they're pretty bulby. Hey, work light jumping in the picture there. That thing keeps smacking me in the head there. Let's just put the work light back up here. Maybe that'll help light up the show too. Maybe it'll show better. Here, we'll just do that. See if that helps. Does that? Oh yeah. Makes the engine a little more visible. You can see kind of what I'm doing here. But just going around with the chisel here, remove some of this last bit of stuck-on gasket. The intake manifold had a couple leaks on the intake side, so that would mean it would be running lean on those cylinders. What we're experiencing a intake leak, and by lean that means instead of fuel air mixture going into the engine, well, there's still some fuel air going in, but most of it was air because of the gasket weeping some air into the intake, and it was right along the tops where the valve covers meet. So we'll get that cleaned up, and then we're going to use right stuff and brand new gaskets We're gonna get these babies stuck on good. See if I can keep as much gasket and crud. The only problem with this type of engine is, you know, this open, what do they call that, the gallery. It's open upward when you're cleaning it. I could turn the engine over, but then I'd have to work upside down, and I just don't want to do it. So instead, I'll just take an air hose to things when I'm done to blow all the fluff out that came off. You know, it's mostly just paper. Fortunately, paper's a pretty mild one, but still, you just want as much cleanness as you can have in there. Fortunately, most of the gasket's stuck to the manifold. Probably do the same thing when I return it, as I'll do the glue side on the manifold, and then the head side will be the dry side. That way, if the intake manifold has to come off, you only have to peel the ends and not the cylinders, but we'll see. These don't look, you know, it was actually, I guess what the leak was between the gasket and the head on the where there were leaks. So maybe, I don't know. I'll do some research and find out if gluing on both sides is just stupid, because it can make it hard to like extricate the intake manifold from this thing. Maybe a vacuum cleaner might be of use too for air hosing. But yeah, it's a Sunday afternoon, kind of drippy out. Maybe I'll bring you guys in closer. Let's see if we can do that. A little bumping around here as we relocate the tripod. Oh. Oh yeah. Are we still plugged? Nope, we're not plugged in anymore. That's too far a reach. Here, let's see if we can make it easier here. Change up the power. Now don't have to reach so far. There we go. Put power up again. And nice and close in. Yeah, there we go. So just when the little bits of gasket come off, if you could just reach out and grab them, or at least put your finger on it so it doesn't go jumping in the gallery. That was a good one. That one shot right over the top and went out. That one, got it. Okay. Part of the problem when I pulled the manifold off, this is now open, but this opening right here in the center, which is a heat riser, it allows exhaust fumes to make its way into a chamber on the intake manifold that helps keep the intake manifold warm. Why do you want to keep the intake manifold warm when an engine gets hot? Well, the intake manifold experiences a lot of air rushing in as the engine's processes. It sucks in air, mixes fuel with it, compresses it, and then blows it up and uses that power to push a piston. Well, each time it draws in or breathes in more air, that chills the manifold, and the fuel, gasoline, loves a good chill. It'll get, like when you blow across water, the water will take a while to change temperature, but if you blow across gas, it'll cool down right quickly because of the evaporation process weeps off energy and cools the gas. Well, you don't want that in an intake manifold, because when your gas cools down, it doesn't atomize, and you end up with a really crappy burn and a stalled engine. And so, yeah, there we go. Got you. I got you too. Getting all the big pieces for sure. And so they bring the exhaust in. The same thing on this side. This side was about 50% plug. This side was 80%. So we got a little, I'm gonna say, probably a little tuning on the engine would have helped alleviate that. Probably running on the rich side with all that carbon. I think that's how that, you read that. A lot of carbon means a lot of poor burnt fuel. So to have poor burnt fuel, you have to have a lot of fuel, right? More than is needed for the explosion, or can be combusted. And so, yeah, this side hardly, well, there's a little tiny bit of paper, but most of, yeah, they definitely, oh yeah, I might just go to wire wheel now. Cheap poker. I think that's part of the head gasket. I'm not gonna mess with that. Why the head gasket has a big finger on it like that, I don't know. We're not gonna pull the heads. The compression was good. The valves are fine. You know, the seats. I think I already peeled the gasket on here. I just haven't wired wheeled. And then I don't know on the, I'm gonna say on the oil pan that I just don't have that done at all. So let's make a little noise here. We're gonna fire up the compressor. Actually, since you won't be able to hear, this is my little from a salvage, totally free, wouldn't turn. Took it apart, cleaned it real well, put it all right back together, put a little lube in it, and bingo bango bongo, I've got a well, it didn't come with the wire wheel, but it I've got a nice little air-powered wire wheel. I'm gonna fire that up. It shouldn't take long. The compressor will take a while, so it's gonna kind of cut down conversation. So I'm gonna assume you can still kind of hear me. Just do a little further check on my paper removal. And I think we're pretty good here. Oh, okay, good. don't want to pull the distributor. I've had bad experiences dropping those out and then, trying to drop them back in afterward and jacking with the timing. Everything's perfect. It's not really in my way except for with this gadget here, just can't get in there. So I'll have to hand wire brush some of that thing. I'm just gonna leave that guy where she sits. Gotta set this up so it spits the crap out, not into the center. This trigger. Video for a little while. You get the idea. I'm going to continue this offline and then return video when all done wire brushing. Save camera time.